We're in Malta for the Battle of Malta poker tournament, and we're going to try to find someone who's willing to talk to us about their experience here. We're looking for some advice from the pros. We're going to try to find somebody who's willing to talk to us and try to tell us if there's any secret tips or tricks that somebody can use to be a top flight poker player. Check, can you hear me? Yep. Okay. Are we rolling? Do you consider yourself a superstitious person? Do you have any weird superstitions or?
No.
No.
I'm a retired psychologist. I'm not at all superstitious.
Are you saying that poker players have to be assholes?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if you want to get pleasure out of taking money off someone at a table, and that means that when you beat them,
You have to be a bit of a sociopath.
a little bit, yeah.
How, and you do to a lot of international tournaments?
Quite a lot, yeah.
What's the furthest you've ever traveled for a tournament?
How far away is the Bahamas? That far.
Closer than Vegas.
It's closer than Vegas, but I've been to Vegas too.
Now, do you find yourself being a psychologist? Do you think that gives you any sort of upper hand against certain players? Do you find yourself psychoanalyzing the players themselves?
I don't want to give any secrets away, but
I'm going to take that as a yes, Sally.
I make some good reads. I do.
Quick question, do you consider yourself a superstitious person?
Not particularly, no. I don't have a. Obviously, we all have our silly favorite hands. Mine.
Yeah, what are
9-7 suited.
9-7 suited?
Diamonds preferably, and also
And why is that?
because it looks pretty.
When it comes to getting ready for this tournament, was there anything that you did to prepare yourself? Were you playing a lot of online or live play? Were you just psyching yourself up?
So you need to eat and drink much because you need to stay focused.
Okay. And what are you eating and drinking to stay focused?
So
I love that familiar sound of people just shuffling chips. It's just this dull roar of chip shuffling. It's just thousands of chips just shuffling back and forth. What's it like being a female poker player?
We are in minority, that is for sure, but I think most of the players will respect us a little bit more because we are in minority, so that maybe is advantage.
You think it might be an advantage being a woman? My grandfather always told me never play cards against a woman because they're impossible to tell when they're lying. Do you think that's true?
I think so.
Interesting. I mean, I certainly would prefer to play against predominantly male opponents in the live environment because they have trouble accepting that female players can play. So they get very stuck on you. They don't believe you're elastic. So if they catch you making one bluff, they assume you're always light. If they think, say you get dealt bottom 5% for an hour, they don't see you play a hand, they assume you're super, super tight. And they make assumptions on those like one reads that they wouldn't make against male players. So your granddad may have been leaning in the right direction in that it can be more difficult to play against women because your own behaviour changes against the way it would against other men.
So you consider yourself mainly a social player?
Yeah, of course. I'm a losing poker player, but that doesn't really matter because this is my hobby and I quite enjoy going to all the events.
Would you agree with me that maybe losing a hand to a female might put a less secure male on tilt, where he might be more inclined?
Yes, I personally witness that very regularly, that it seems to be more painful for not all male players, #not all men, but I mean certainly some of the more competitive amateur male players, they really hate to lose to a girl. And then it doesn't help if it's a girl like me who will kind of take pleasure in that and then needle them to the max. Because, they have trouble. I mean, two men get into a dispute in a poker room, they can resort to the let's go to the car park. But it's really hard for a guy to square up to me and say, I'm going to take you outside and beat you because I'm a woman. Now that's really unfair culturally, but I take maximum advantage of that. So yes, I will absolutely try and needle a guy into playing badly 100% of the time.
I had 3 queens with 8 kicker, and the other guy had queen with 4 kicker, and he got the 4 on the river. So
he ended up getting a full house then?
Yeah, on the river. Bad luck.
Oh my gosh, the infamous river card. Here we have the big table. These are the head honchos. These are the big bad boys. That's why they're on display in the center, so everyone else can want to be them. Do you tend to only play hands if you think that you can win them, or are you the kind of player?
You need to play with You need to play with good hands. You cannot. Here is a good play. You cannot. You know what I mean.
You can't bullshit these people. No, exactly. All right. Just out of curiosity, what's the biggest tournament you've ever been at?
Actually, this is a bucket list, traveling around the world playing poker. So my first was in 2016 at the Battle of Malta.
Okay, so that was your first tournament, and then
I had flown in and I played PokerStars, and there were friends, and they all went home, and I noticed Battle of Malta was putting their signs up, and I asked, what is this? I didn't know anything about the Battle of Malta, but I stayed on, and I didn't cash in the main event, but it came in second in the high roller.
Okay, and just your estimate, how many other tournaments since that have you played in? Since that first tournament?
That whole year, 2017, I traveled around Europe to Central America, and I haven't counted, but I did really well in 2017. You can Google.
Every culture, every creed, every race, every religion, these people have all gathered here to pursue one thing: human greed. And they do not even mind the fact that they can't understand each other, because there's only one true universal language, and that is the language of poker.